Hello everyone. May as well get started a couple minutes early. Why not? I am John from Handelabra Games, working on Steam Workshop and mod support for Sentinels of the Multiverse. Welcome to Friday afternoon. It has become a regular thing now. So yeah, let's talk about... My voice is a little low. How's this? How's this? Just need to be closer to the microphone. Mainly. And I'll talk like this. Probably not. Yeah, so last time we finished off the initial ad hoc loading. And so instructions for how to do that are on the Trello board here for you. And I thought I could start. I haven't tried one of the mods that people have posted yet. So I'm going to pop over to Discord on my other screen here. And Ruduin has posted their mod, and they're using the release functionality on GitHub, which is something that is a cool idea. So let's download that and see. Oh, that's the source code. I just want this one. Wait, I guess I did download it like earlier. Just take a peek. So let's delete this stuff. Let's download this. And yeah, basically just drop this. There's the manifest. Let's get back to the chat here. No one say anything. Okay, so how do we install this? Well, or if you're testing your own mod, this is what you're going to want to do, is to go to the local files of the game, and in a mods folder we have our testing stuff, but we can also put in this one. Cool. Let's run the game. And I have no idea. I guess I can look at the JSON to see what's in the mod. We have 3 heroes, looks like. And I've reset all my settings, so. Alright. Baron Blade. Oh yeah, we've got Ruduin's various stuff. I don't know which does what. So I'll just try them all. Of course, we don't have graphics yet, so the graphics are all blank here. Yeah, the cauldron, and everything has, there's a bunch of nothing happening, but probably, I think there's a bunch of setup code that's running for one of these decks, maybe. That might be what was happening there. Yeah, there's only 2 cards in the deck here. I don't know where everything is. Take some damage. Yeah, what I'm going to be working on today is variants in the UI, which right now isn't really a thing. And you can't tell which one you're clicking on either, because variants for your own cards should work, but I'll be working on variants for existing decks. Cool. Okay. Ongoing cards, and so I guess that power isn't going to do anything for me right now. play that, but I guess we don't get to do anything with it. There's an equipment card. All right, this hero is the deck builder one, I think. Deal 1 target 2 cold damage. Regain 2 hit points. Let's try discarding all the cards. No cards that can be chosen. Okay. Well, it's cool. Some neat ideas going on here. I'm drawing tons of cards for some reason. I'm not sure why I drew. Oh, draw until you have 4 cards, and then you drew an extra card. I see. Draw a card. You may destroy one of your ongoing cards. If you do play a card, so I guess I should play an ongoing card. Does that have any destruction effect? No. I mean, it's a good card to have, I suppose. Gonna do some damage, Jeremy style. Cool. Well, there you go. Here's some mod heroes heroing it up. I'm not going to play the full game, but looks pretty cool, Rujuin. Good progress. And keep going on it. Oh, now we're taking damage. All right, that's good. That's enough of that for now, I think. Cool to see stuff happening. I know there's also Cauldron stuff happening, and some other people are making other mods, so I just wanted to try one out there. So I don't think Rujuin can watch the streams live, but maybe they'll see it on the YouTube. All right, so what am I going to be doing today? I've been looking into hello, remote error. Supporting variants for existing cards. Yeah, you can test things out in the game, and I mean, the way to develop decks how we do is, you know, you develop them at the low level first and then bring them into the game for integration. So Seamus asked about the Cauldron mod Discord. Yeah, I saw a link to that on our Discord, but I feel like I don't really have time in my head for too many Discords. So if needed, I can join it, but I think people can join into our Discord, and that will be easier for me. Okay. So, all right. So yeah, so this is more this is ending up to be more complicated than I thought. So on the engine side, it's actually not too bad. So let's take a look at my mod, where I have made a variant for Bunker. So to do that, basically the first thing was we need like a place to put the card definitions. So for regular promo or variant, which I'm going to be like, those words are interchangeable because they were always promos, and then a new word came out as variants. So in the code and stuff, they're often one or the other. Just means the same thing. So in a deck list, you have a list of promo cards alongside your regular cards. and that's where it finds the promo cards. But if I have a promo for Legacy or Bunker, I don't have Legacy's deck list here, right? And we don't want to have Legacy's deck list here. So so there's a new special list called Promo Card List that has to be named exactly that. And it just has, it's a dictionary with basically, different decks and then the promos that you're going to define for them. So it's a hash at first, and then we have Bunker, and then array and all the promos. So I could have like 5 different Bunker promo cards here if I wanted to. I just have one, but I could have any number of things that go with the Bunker deck, basically, so that when we're listing out the available variants for Bunker, we can bring these in. And so I have Wayward Bunker character is my promo identifier. And so associated with that, I need to have a class card controller for that. That's in the workshopping, so my own namespace .bunker. And then you set it up like that and, program it normally. And that's all you have to do on the mod code side. And then I have a test here to, make sure that it worked. So we can run that. And so if we look at the Bunker variant, he draws 2 cards instead of 1. Amazing variant. And has more hit points. So that's all working great. And so how the engine is loading that is similar to before. I have another Visual Studio with this. In where we looked that up, promo card list. Yeah. So when you call add assembly on the mod helper, it will look up and see if you have a promo card list in there. If so, it will look them all up and parse that file in. And if you don't, then you don't. It's fine to not have promos. It might be that's all you have is promos, and that's fine too. And it loads those up, and then those are available from the mod helper, so the rest of the Sentinels engine code can find them. And since you can specify, you could, have, Cauldron dot whoever, I don't know the names of the decks. You can if you have a promo for another mod's heroes, you can have them. So that's a thing. So that's all working fine in the engine. The UI is another trickier thing. So I've actually, in my mod, I have committed these things as examples. I haven't pushed them up yet because I wanted to make sure that, I didn't want to push it up until it would work, because right now it's not going to work, right? Because the engine is not going to, this test is not going to work because the current DLL that you have does not support this, is the long and short of it. So I'm not going to push that up until we get an update with that support. So that will just sit here for now. And I guess I update the README, so it got to change. And I have some changes to the CS proj here that are just like reference paths and stuff that I was having some issues with, but I'm just going to leave those as local changes probably, since it's primarily Windows folks, I think, using the GitHub. So, okay, so that's where we are on the MyMod side. And then we also, so that's all fine in the engine, but on the UI, there's a little more going on. Because the UI has a whole idea of variants being locked and unlocked, and it has different ways. It needs to be able to like show what's available and stuff like that. Whereas with the engine, doesn't care about any of that, right? The engine is just like, if you tell me you want something, I will load it. But it's not going to help you like with what is possible, if that makes sense. So the UI needs to do a little more work. And so yeah, I've got a little bit of that going. But there's more to do. So what have I got going? Yeah, so one of the things I was running into was that the UI works a lot with like definitions, like in the new game screen context and stuff, with definitions and identifiers, and those don't indicate, there's no information in that about whether it's from a mod or where it's from. And with decks, it's not a big deal because once you have the deck, you have the deck. But with a promo, it either came from the deck, so you have the deck, or it's from a mod, so you don't even have the deck, so it's not really connected, right? So there's some things I need to change around here. I think probably instead of these returning card definitions, they need to return actual cards, objects that get constructed. And the card objects need to be able to indicate that they're from a mod. We could do that in the definition, but I really want to avoid making you have to like have your namespace listed in so many places, and like you just don't want to have that kind of thing. A magic string that needs to be the same in a whole bunch of places, and then like you change it and it's a big pain in your butt. So if we have to do that, we have to do that, but we'll try to avoid it. So yeah, I've been working on changing these things that are helping, how to find the promos that go with with things. So that's this this here. So there's also, and then I think in the manifest needs to list the variants as well. So this is what you need to do at the code side, and then the manifest also needs to show that, and that is, yeah, I guess I can pull up the manifest file. So in addition, or alongside decks, maybe you might not have decks, that's okay. You have, similar to the other JSON variants, and for bunker, there's a list of whatever the variants are. So that's being loaded up in the UI now, and it's not totally working because there's more to do. So yeah, ideally we want it to like show up here, and I think actually it is showing up here. So, but it's showing up like as locked, right? Because at this point the game doesn't know that it's like, oh, I have a variant Wayward Bunker, but it doesn't know that it's a mod variant right now and is always unlocked. So yeah, so jumping into the middle of something here, I realize, with everyone, but that's how it is sometimes. So basically what I have figured I need to do is change a lot of these to return, because everything that uses these actually ends up like making a card object after using it. This one gets used by other ones, like this one ends up making a card out of it. They just always make a card out of it. So these can just make cards is the long and the short of it. If that's what's going to happen in the end, then that's okay. And so part of what needs to happen here also is that the card itself needs to have a record of there being a namespace, which identifies it as being from a mod and being a qualified identifier and all that kind of stuff like we did for turn takers. And so I'm adding this in. This is a model change, so it's notable, but it's adding a new property to the model for similar to we had in turn taker. And yeah, I just had a log in there, I guess. So, so this is the main change. And so what I'm going to do is build this DLL to work with, and then, but not necessarily commit it yet until we're happy with how it is. So, oh, UI scripts. Let's build the engine. Make sure we have that code all up to date, because I've been like stashing it and unstashing it, and trying to figure out if I need that code or not, because I'd rather not include it if it's necessary, but I've pretty much figured it's necessary. So I guess I didn't also show that like you can like variants can be played. That part is working. Just like I said, like as long as the engine like is told what it's doing, it's fine with it. It's more the UI needs to like know what's possible, whereas the engine doesn't really need to know that. So if we go into game view, I have a debug setting where I can like specify my mod path now, and so we're using this bunker variant. So if we start the game, we have the bunker variant. You notice this still says error loading graphics because all that check is doing to see if the bunker turn taker is a mod, and it's like, no, it's not a mod. We don't need to show that special message because there's no way for it to know right now that this is actually a mod variant, because it's a little different. So that's fine, and then also we're able to continue the game if we go through the main menu. We'll have the mod manager go and we can continue the game, which is another thing. And that actually, yeah, sometimes it continues and it's regular bunker. So that's a thing. And that's because it's not recording the namespace, I think, and it's not finding the mod. It was funny because it was working. It was working. Card definition not found in bunker's deck list. But it's supposed to be, this is a log that, is it? No, yeah, this is the logging that I've been putting in. Prompt identifier is this, card definition not found in the bunker deck list. But it shouldn't be looking in the bunker deck list. It should be looking in the other thing. I wonder if the mod DLL is not up to date. Let's just make sure that's the case. Still a regular bunker. All right, let's look and see. Oh. Turn taker. Okay, right. So this part is not actually looking for the mod promo, isn't it? Yeah, no, it is. It's looking. This is weird because the identifier is clearly has a dot because we see it in the log there. So is there something that can fail with this? I wonder. Maybe. Let's just throw some logging in here because we can't debug and do it from the UI, so. Just log that out like that. Restore these logs maybe just to see. Make sure maybe the keys are not matching up for some reason. Okay, let's update the DLL and try that again. Good luck, Dorito. Thought I had this part working, so. Oh, from the main menu, we don't have the mod manager in time, right? Maybe, I think we put that on the splash screen, didn't we? Yeah, that's why. I bet that's what it is. It's like main menu is where we go. No, it's actually not. Just the timing of when, like, the mod hasn't been loaded yet, right? So when we go continue, the mod manager has not actually loaded up the mod. That's what's going on. Yeah, the mod helper is like, there's no such thing. What are you talking about? And it never actually registers the mod. Whereas if we go from the splash screen, which is what you would do when you actually play the game. Yeah, here's our mod loading stuff. And then when we continue, we have our variant. Okay, so that is all working. I'm just dumb. I mean, dumb slash, it's hard to remember sometimes. But when we go to the new game screen, it actually works because we access the mod manager. Like, the mod manager will be created when necessary, whereas when you press from the main menu, it's not doing that. Like, the game view is not doing that. It's kind of awkward, but it's also not the end of the world. Yeah, so these are just logs. So yeah, the main change here is the card namespace thing. So, which I'm not recording in the game right now. That is something that I do need to do, but for now we're just going to use it on the UI side when we're doing this stuff. So I'm going to change all these to return actual cards instead of definitions, I think, which will be a pretty significant refactor. So let's buckle in. Yeah, I wonder, does this? Yeah, I mean, all of these that right now they want definitions. If they get cards, it's like, that's fine. It's a little more work. So let's start, I guess, at the bottom. So we're changing this to return something else. So we need to do other things. It's going to be a lot of red for a while. This needs to be cards. That needs to be cards. All right, so I think at this point, this is like the lower level one. where we're saying what are the available variants for this deck. And if you look at what these do, they like they create a new card, right? They pass whether it's foil or not, which is something we probably need to pass down, or at least pass down the foil identifiers, which is kind of annoying. So basically it's going to be like we'll just say for each one, new card from the definition. All right, we have the owner we need to pass in. Yeah, it's all kind of gross. It's all kind of gross. Because basically we want to be able to pass the get the namespace back. Well, let's get into it and see. We need to be able to pass turn taker, owner, and this. And we can use this here. Does not have a constructor that takes that many arguments. Oh, because it's like how many arguments do you think I'm passing? Card definition, owner, number. I'm missing one. This is a Boolean, right? Let's just get rid of these extra brackets. Oh, okay. Right. That bracket goes with the constructor, that one goes with select. Okay. So now, if we can pass in enough things, we can do it. Okay. So this needs to pass in. It doesn't really need to be a hash set in these. It just needs to, it can be a hash set and then it's fast, but it doesn't need to be a hash set in the parameters, does it? Right, so this can pass in. Where else is this called? Yeah, I guess there, okay. Yeah, and then some of these are gonna be problematic, maybe. We might be taking several passes through this to tidy it all up. Right, so I'm just gonna note variants included in Sentinels regular decks. Right, and so again, we're here we need to make these cards. Dot select, new card. We'll just say monster and foil versions for now. And this, we can pass the namespace. Can we? Turn taker dot namespace. Yeah. Cool. We're using it. Okay. And then I'm just going to comment this part out for now, just so we like, I want to make sure what currently works continues to work after making all this change. This is for adding variants for other decks that we're trying to get there. Okay. Unlocked promos for deck. Where is this used? In a few places. This is based on definitions. Yeah, a lot of these things are based on definitions, and there isn't a turn taker. So we might just try passing null in. Like, the unlocked promos are always going to be like there's only, I don't know. Always going to be regular ones, right? We're not going to be worried about just pass in null for these. And yeah, we can use that. Get all available variants. What is this used by? Achievements and other things. Like, we only care about these extra parameters if we're in the new game screen, really. It's kind of a hot mess here because we never really considered this weird case happening. Okay, so, right. I'm just going to ease through these. Right, that makes this code work, but there's probably places where we have errors. Not getting the right errors. Yeah, a few. Why did you do that? All right, so this was previously assuming this was going to be a definition. I guess I can. This is the deck browser. We only care about the definitions here. This is not going to have mods, so we can. This is back down there. So this part is where we want cards. So here we also want to pass the foil identifiers. This is where we want this to happen, right? We don't, this is actually this. We already took care of the foil part. We don't need to make the card. We just have the card. That's great. That's what we actually wanted to get out of that change. In here, this is randomizing. Yeah. We can do like that. In here, this is randomizing as well. And right, if that's expecting a definition. Sure. We might need some more changes in there. And full card panel is a place where you can, this is similarly like creating the cards. And since it's returning cards, we can, yeah, so it's not, it's interesting. They're not actually definitions anymore. Let's call these variant cards. And we'll call this, sure, promo, which we're using later. Like that. I think this, yeah, this is so special handling for the Sentinels. Which I'm not sure is affected by what we were doing there. Yeah, I guess it is. Is it? Oh no. It's interesting, this just still works. Okay, so I made some changes and it all compiles. I don't know that it's gonna work though. Well, it'll, in theory, should still work the same way. It might fail sometimes because of null references, right? Yeah. Yeah, so if you pass a null, it's actually failing on synchronizing variants. If you pass a null owner to card, it is not happy about that. And so we can try fixing that. Because a lot of our code that has to do with variants is using definitions because it doesn't need to care about like a game being set up and stuff like that. So this is just making me think we need to go back to the definition side. I'm just wondering if like there's a better way. Like the definition could have a namespace property that's populated by the like thing that sets it up, as opposed to having to put it in the JSON. Maybe might be a way to go about it. Yeah, like basically cards not having an owner leads to problems. And not just like in this one place, but it can be in a lot of places. I think that was in, yeah, just like Are You a Hero character card that checks to see if you are owned by a hero turn taker, for example. Yeah, I'm not happy with all this. So what if instead of putting it there, what if in the definition it knows the namespace, but not like it gets passed in? Like what creates this? I mean, mod helper's creating one just like there, and they get created when they come from a deck definition. So what if that namespace needs to come from the definition? It still needs to be saved in the model for the card, but that doesn't, yeah, I think that's okay. We could have both. I think we could have both. So let me see if we put this. What I'm thinking is if this is available in the card definition, it just becomes easy at the high level. It just makes it so much easier. So that's kind of what I want to do. Where's the... Oh, the properties are like below the constructor here. It's annoying. Yeah, promo identifier and everything. Okay, so if we do this on card definition, we could probably end up doing it on deck definition too, just since that might be useful. And then whoever calls this has to pass that. Required formal parameter. Right, we already have the namespace here. That's the easy part. In deck definition, it's just null. I mean, it could be, if we have it in this, it could be the same namespace as that, but. Oh. Apparently my stream stopped working. Let's see. Attempting to reconnect. Not had that happen quite like that before. I think my internet connection is still working. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, that reloaded. Reconnection successful. All right. I appear to be back. There was a major hiccup, apparently. Yeah, I've never actually had OBS like fully disconnect like that and have to reconnect. You see me. Yay. There was a remote error, apparently. So anyways, yeah. I'm not sure what you missed, but we are looking at getting that namespace information into the definition, because the definitions are being created by the mod helper anyway, for these at least, and that's going to make life a little easier. And we might put it in the deck definition as well. That might make things even a little more easier, but I'm not sure yet. So that's like enough. It's just like a little more information that's coming from the low level, right? It doesn't actually even change any logic anywhere. Then I'm just going to stash all the stuff I did in the UI because I'm not convinced it was a good idea. What else did I change? I guess some of the stuff I wanted to change was good. So this manifest change is good. That change is good. This was, excuse me, part of what we did. Yeah, these are just, they're part of that attempted refactor. As well as that, as well as this. Well, some of this. Most of it. So let me commit the stuff that specify variants in mod manifest. That's good and happy. I'm just going to stash all this stuff and re-update the DLL. sometimes you end up going down a blind road when you're developing. That's part of it. And maybe that wasn't a blind road. We might go back to it. That's why we stash it. Don't lose it. Sometimes you gotta try a few things. Okay, so we're gonna not be able to see the variants now in the new game screen because we put away all the code that might make that possible. So I shouldn't see Wayward Bunker. Great. I should have picked a hero that has not the hero that has the most variants. Okay, so promo helper is where we want to be. I don't want this error panel. It makes me nervous. So the thing that's trying to find out what are the variants is this. In the available decks area, it makes each game setup card view and says, hey, tell me all the available variants for the deck. Great. And we say, if it's a, like Handelabra decks, basically. If it's a Handelabra deck, use this logic. If it's a mod, just return all of them. Like, they're always going to be available. But we want to say we also want to include for all of them, actually, we want more. So I actually had this before, but let's redo it here. So we have like in any case, that's our starting list. Also include variants for existing decks that come from mods. Which we have in Mod Manager. Get available variants for deck. Or get available variant definitions for deck. Result.concat. Just add them to the end. Return. So that should let us see that mod now. Again. It's basically what we had before in there. Oh, it didn't. Why not? It might not have loaded in time. Possibly. Let's just try going from the splash screen just in case that's what's going on. Nope. Did I forget to save? Could be. Available variants for deck. Okay. Let's just log them out. I think this should work. Maybe I'm obviously missing something. All right, a lot of blanks. But there's Wayward Bunker character. There must be another spot where... variance.add. And then we give that to the game setup card view. So there's something getting disconnected there. We can just do a quick log here. Just log out for each deck. What are all the promos? Because I want to know what's happening. All right, the environment doesn't have any stuntman, blah blah blah, Argent Adept, blah blah blah, bunker. That does not include the one that I want. It is including the information from the mod. So we can pop in here. Just grab this. Oh, you know what I'm doing? Just calling this without assigning it. Yep, it was something dumb. Just a little dumb thing. Not actually keeping the information, just being like, hey, add that on to the end, but don't store it or anything. Why would you do that? There we go, wavered bunker. Okay. We're back to where we started, but hopefully with more information. So now we can just say, this is promo unlocked. Calls, right. What we can do is say, either is basically d dot namespace, right, if it's not null. And right now I realize this is on the card, or you could say or. But we can go dot definition. Oh wait. Yeah, those are see, the thing is, since these are card definitions, now I can do this. But before it was one level higher, right? And I couldn't. That's why I wanted to have it there. We can also check everywhere this is promo unlocked and make sure we do it in the right spot. So that's cool. This is promo unlocked. It's probably used in a few places. So if that's null or empty, or not string is null or empty, card.definition.namespace. Oop. And that probably covers like most of the cases. There might be a few more cases. But that should let us use the variant from the new game screen here. We'll see. Yep. So when I clicked it, it said now we have bunker and the variant wayward bunker character. And that was a lot easier than refactoring half of the promo code stuff. Let's make sure it actually starts the game with the variant. Not quite. So something got disconnected. Card definition not found. Because we lost the namespace. So again, we need to use qualified identifier. So it's using promo identifier, but it needs to be qualified promo identifier, like we did for other things. So we need to add a little bit more, but that's good progress. Okay, so let's go back here. I guess that the card class, this doesn't need to have this. We can always just get it off the definition. I don't want it to be there and be confusing, right? So what I'm going to do is get rid of that. That log is fine for what we're doing right now. Those are fine. Yeah, that's passing in the namespace. Right, I'm just going to this is all the stuff that, yeah, discard that. We're not doing that. I don't think that actually, nothing was actually using the namespace. It was being only used by the UI when it created the card. So, but now we're actually setting the namespace here. I think we need to set the namespace when we load the game too. Oh, but this get promo definition, right. So it is using the namespace because all the promo definitions are always coming from the mod helper. So I think that's okay. But what we wanted to do was to have one of those qualified identifier properties here, which is just helpful for everything. Maybe like a helper properties section. I guess this is fine. The identifier, I guess it's qualified promo dev, because that's the only thing we care about. This is the promo identifier of the card, including namespaces specified from a mod. Okay. We also have the promo identifier or identifier thing, which I guess it could use that. I don't know how much. We'll have to look and see and maybe add it as well. Basically, there's a thing called promo identifier or identifier, which is like, if you have a promo identifier, I want that. If you don't, then identifier, which is used a lot for like loading graphics and stuff. Because like I don't care which, as long as I know get the right information. Hey, thanks Dart of Truth for the sub gift. Look at that. SM Jake's getting a sub. Very cool. Thanks very much. Okay, so I guess I'll just put all of them in here just in case I need them. Or identifier. And yeah, this is interesting because maybe I'll just, I don't know if I want to use, let's just keep what we have. And also this needs to be here. If I don't know if I want to have that, because it's kind of a messy thing to add if we don't need it. So let's add this qualified promo identifier and then go into the UI and see where we should be putting that. Okay, so let's go back and get Unity to recompile. All right, and I'm just gonna quit these Visual Studios because Unity's being a jerk about it, and open up a new one. Okay, so we basically want to find, similar to what we did before, is wherever we're finding the promo identifier of a card definition, we need to use the qualified one. Maybe not wherever, but like in many places. Yeah, so here, even though this is just a debug log, right? For the foils should probably also be using the qualified one. Which doesn't do anything, right? For card testing is fine. Deck browser is fine. That's not mod stuff. Demo foil helper. Yeah, that's. I don't know that mods are going to really have foils right away. Game intro. Yeah, here again, it's like finding it from the villain deck. So it's not actually, this is not working, but that's not a major thing right now. Show variant for promo identifier. Yeah, let's make sure that we're using qualified ones. Yeah, and here's an example of promo identifier or identifier. The foil version stuff. Yeah, here the randomizer needs to use the qualified identifier, definitely. Same thing here. Get promo identifiers dictionary. Well, that should be using. Right, this is for multiplayer. But I think they need to be using qualified. This might be a bit of a mess to debug. Yeah, again here. Oh, and we lost our OBS again. What's going on, internet? Is the internet connection just fully down? Might be now. I think it is now. Go check. It is not working. So I'm actually going to stop the recording here and call tech support. Maybe.